stuff that's happening. Now, this has been in the air for a while. Oh, Chucky Lozano. Okay, so Chucky Lozano, there's rumors flying around that he potentially could be returning, well, not returning, but going to the United States for Major League Soccer with LAFC. Now, Tom Beauregard has said that this is, let's use his words, nonsense in terms of the contacts that he has and the information that he has. But this just kind of keeps percolating right now. Chucky Lozano, 27 years old, arguably the best player on El Tree. And in this day and age where we discuss, and there's an incredible amount of pressure and criticism as to players coming back to MLS and what that would do for their career and what it says about, in bigger picture, what it says about them, what it says about the team, what it says about the league, what it doesn't say, American soccer, and then obviously El Tree and the national team. If this were to happen, Jimmy, let's just do a hypothetical now. This might not happen. If it were to happen, do you think that this would hurt Chucky Lozano and therefore hurt El Tree?
That's a great question. I think there was some, let me say it like this. When you think about Chicharito and when you think about Carlos Vela, both in the LA market, right? So there's definitely a thirst to have a Mexican player on either one of those teams for obvious reasons, right? There's obviously a big fan base in that section of the country. I think it depends on who the coach of Mexico is. So right now you have Jaime Lozano, so he's in charge. And if there's some kind of conversations that we're having with Chicharito and Carlos Vela, I know they're on the wrong side of 30, maybe not the right time to pull them back in. But I really do think it comes down to that. So if Chucky wants to come back, then I think you have to have a real talk with your coach of Mexico and say, hey, whatever you think about MLS, let's just put it on the table right now. And if you think this is going to hurt my chances, then let's have that discussion. And if it's not, then this is where I want to go, this is where I want to be. Then it's all back on the player. But if it does have some implications as to his national team playing time, then maybe he has to make a different decision.
Whether it's El Tree or anybody else, what does a coach benefit by saying, I mean, if he just made a blanket statement and said, if you're in MLS, I'm not calling you in, okay?
Well, we've seen that.
I know, but
we've heard it.
But probably in a coach's mind, he or she would be saying, I'm doing this in order to make sure that they are playing at the highest level and not letting them, quote unquote, regress by coming to a league that I don't value. And look, it's certainly their prerogative to be able to do that. I just think you're shooting yourself in the foot.
I get it. But that coach could also be saying, I don't want you to go to Belgium, or I don't want you to go to France, or I don't want to, like, you have a nice setup with Napoli. Let's use Chucky Lozano. So yes, I think MLS could be part of that conversation, but I think there are plenty of other leagues where that coach can
But let's be honest, coaches that would say that, if they went to Europe, they don't look at going to Belgium or something like that as the step down relative to MLS. It's literally getting on a plane and flying to North America that then puts them in that view.
I get it. Well, I don't know. Maybe what if Chucky wanted to go to Mexico? Maybe Jaime Lozano would be like, I don't want you to come back either. Like, we want you to continue to cut your teeth in Europe. That's where the best competition is. You can get into the Champions League.
Do you think we can see the best of Chucky Lozano if he is not playing in Europe?
I think confidence is a hell of a drug. And if you can get playing time and get confidence no matter where you're playing, then I think that's what matters most. I'm the wrong person to talk to about this because when I got to play in a World Cup, I only had MLS experience. And I held my own against some of the best in the world.
How is it possible, Jimmy Conrad, that you were able to do it? Playing in this rinky-dink little fledgling league that doesn't prepare anybody on and off the field and is in a country and culture that is not soccer-based, and you can't possibly pass the ball, and you can't even understand the laws of the game because you're American and you play in an American/Canadian league. How is it possible that you, Jimmy Conrad, were able to go to a World Cup and function as a soccer player? Boom!
I just poked the bear, everybody.